This is Luton, and today we're talking about improving your accuracy. Now many people might tell you that you're either good at aiming or you suck at it, but the truth is that just like in real life, some people will be naturally better at this than others, and some people will learn over time how to handle the recoil of weapons. Also, you can often find that when you take a break from playing an FPS game, it can take a little time to become familiar again with the details of how a game's mechanics feel. I myself had to do this in the last couple of weeks, which is mainly why I'm making this video. I took a 2-week period off from Battlefield, and the result was that upon re-entering the game, much of the handling it felt very unnatural for me. So just taking 2 hours to play with my clan in Team Deathmatch and practice up my aiming before getting into live games was very helpful and an important thing for me. Remember that there are always going to be other factors happening around you in-game as well that are going to affect your accuracy, like vibration from grenades and mortars, suppression from other players shooting at you, and always the threat of you taking fire from flanking enemies. So making sure it's safe to aim is also very, very important, and that comes into the whole sphere of knowledge when it comes to moving and aiming. First up though, the most important thing of all, choosing your weapon. Now I'm saying this for the benefit of not just new players or people wanting to improve their gunplay, but for everyone. Because I know that people watching this right now will have their favourite weapons they stick with without really having given any of the others a fair try. And the G3 is a good example of this. The G3 on face value seems to be a difficult gun to handle. Its recoil is quite significant and its clip size is not huge. But if you practice and unlock better optics and give it a fair try, you can start to develop your own style of play with the gun itself, and this can give you an edge over other players who are using more predictable weapon choices. Next up, since the most recent patch, do not use foregrip, okay? Take foregrip off your guns, you'll see what I'm talking about. It now comes with an accuracy penalty, which renders it nearly useless compared to alternatives. And the usual attachments post-patch are the flash suppressor and a heavy barrel, one for recoil and the other for accuracy and damage over range. Switching between them depending on the situation will improve your accuracy performance. So be sure to select the correct one depending on if you're playing on a long open range map like Karg Island or something more close quarters like Metro or Grand Bazaar. When you've selected your weapon of choice, spend some time getting to know how the gun's recoil handles and just look at the spread. So fire a few magazines, try one fully auto, one with a 7 to 8 bullet burst and one with a 3 to 4 bullet burst, and also try and change around the selector on the gun so you can fire with burst or single shot. These are pretty basic things to do, but knowing the personality of a weapon is crucial if you're going to trust it. The more predictable a weapon is, the easier it is to use, and not only that, but on the battlefield you might find it necessary to pick up other people's weapons if you find yourself isolated and out of ammo, so being ready to pick up and handle any other weapon on the battlefield will be a big feather in your cap. Now remember also that when you aim down the sights or you ADS, there is an aim bonus. What most people don't often remember is that when you move side to side, there is a negative effect to your ADS bonus. So if you're close up in CQC, or close quarters, and facing one or more players, then you can dodge and strafe and generally move around and hop around, still hit your targets from hip fire or quick aiming. But when it comes to medium or long range, you want to slow right down, and when it's safe to do so, you want to actually try and stand still, even if it's just for 3 seconds to release 2 bursts from your rifle. Doing this is going to give you an aimed bonus, and it's going to help you to drop those targets. So now, at around this distance on the wall right here, you're going to be safe to move around a bit and still have a reasonable aim on your target. But when it comes to anything longer than that, you're going to want to slow it down, and in doing so you're going to get that aim bonus, and it's going to help you be more successful with your gun skills. Not to mention that hitting a target while stationary is always going to help you. Now it's important to say this is not the final word on aiming. It would be stupid to pretend that you can always be in a situation when you're moving through a map and you see an enemy, you immediately stop, aim, fire, and then move on. That's just not going to happen, and it's also probably going to be very dangerous for you to do so, because standing still is a surefire way for you to get yourself sniped or spotted. But what is important is understanding that staying still will actively give you a bonus to your accuracy, and that means that once you keep that in mind, you can try to ensure that you place yourself as successfully as possible in order to gain more accuracy, and consequently more kills, and that's going to help your team as well. And something I always tell people when they say to me, "Oh God, I'm having terrible games," just a simple piece of advice: slow it down. If you find yourself getting killed over and over and over, you don't seem to be able to get anywhere, then 2 things are going to really happen. you're probably going to get frustrated and angry, and you're also probably going to start rushing back, desperate to get vengeance and unleash your hellfire on those who wronged you. However, in reality, what's more likely going to happen is that you won't be thinking clearly about how you're moving through your cover, and if you do see an enemy before they put you down, you're not going to be fired in a focused way. Meaning, as often can happen, they will actually have time to acquire you and put you down again, even if you got the initial fire on them. So slowing down but at the same time being more focused and objective is important when it comes to the combination of moving through a map and subsequently sighting your targets and taking them out. The next important thing to consider is how you handle your weapon. If you're taking any sort of automatic weapon, it's important to remember the bullet spread of the gun. If you try this for yourself, you'll see that even at a medium range, a gun being fired full auto is going to give a wide spread, which means that there's probably at least a third of your rounds are not actually hitting centrally. This is why burst fire is so important. Deploying your rounds with an average even burst of around 4 to 5, depending on your chosen gun's power and recoil, will help you not only aim better, but it's also going to mean that more of your rounds will actually hit their intended targets, and you should be dropping enemies quicker and more successfully. And also understanding when to change between hipfire and aimed, that's also going to make a difference. So that's my basic guide to helping you improve your accuracy. But there are other things you can do as well to discipline yourself. One of the best ways to do this is by playing Team Deathmatch. You won't have the distraction of focusing on capturing objectives, and you can give more focus to literally the one thing you're trying to practice, which is hitting those targets, improving your aim and reaction time. Even better than playing a public game, if you have your own server available, get some of your friends together and just choose some conditions to play by. Choose a single weapon to use or just a class to use. If you're practicing your aiming, don't take shotguns, don't use grenades or underslung launchers. Get everyone to just take a rifle and make sure it's a rule that you can't camp buildings or positions. Camping means that you'll get a bonus of reaction time when waiting for other players. You're going to see them first. And this means that in a practicing situation you aren't learning as much as you could be, and at the same time you're reducing others' ability to fairly improve because they're going to be dead before they get a chance to actually aim. So if you do this practice match for your clan or just between friends, make sure that there is a set rule that everyone keeps moving. Let's just say they can't stay in one spot for more than 5 seconds. This means everyone will keep moving and shooting, and it will help improve your combination of reaction time and accuracy. So that's my short overview on accuracy, but remember that getting kills isn't the be-all and end-all of skills in Battlefield, but being a self-aware, tactically aware team player is just as important as it is for you and your team.